Bathrooms are one of the smallest rooms in our homes, so why are they so hard to declutter? Because almost everything in there comes with a reason to keep it. It's still good, you paid good money for it, surely you'll use it eventually. And when all of those perfectly reasonable things start piling up, our first instinct is usually to figure out how to fit them all. But that's not what we're doing today. We are not organizing the bathroom and we're not cleaning it. We are decluttering it. Organizing, cleaning, and decluttering are three separate things, and decluttering comes first. That simply means deciding what you're keeping and what you're letting go of. So here are 7 rules to make those decisions easier. Rule number 1 is the decision density rule. Bathrooms are notorious for containing tons of tiny things. While a basement or a garage might cover a larger area, a bathroom can pack hundreds of individual decisions into a couple of drawers and cabinets. Each little item might not seem like much on its own, but together they can be overwhelming. Think about how many different categories of stuff can live in one bathroom. Makeup, skincare, hair products, first aid supplies, dental care, nail polish, shaving supplies, towels, cleaning supplies. And then there are all the tiny things like samples, bobby pins, travel-sized toiletries. Every single one of those things requires a decision. Do I still use this? Is it expired? How long have I even had this? This was expensive. Should I really throw it away? That's decision density. Your bathroom can contain an enormous number of individual decisions in a very small space. That's why you can walk into a bathroom thinking, I'll knock this out in 20 minutes. And an hour later, you're sitting on the floor holding a bottle of lotion you forgot you had and wondering why this is so exhausting. When decluttering a bathroom, it's best to start with the obvious stuff. With so many decisions packed into such a small space, start by eliminating the things that barely require a decision at all. The empty box of Band-Aids, the dried out mascara, the dull razor, that loofah in the shower that has seen better days. A lot of those things are simply going to go in the trash. A bathroom isn't necessarily a place where you need to create a giant donation pile because nobody wants your used loofah. Every no-brainer item that you remove leaves you with one less decision to make. And here's the good news. While bathrooms are high in decision density, they're usually pretty low in sentimentality. So most of what you're deciding about is practical stuff. Products you use, products you don't use, and products you thought you were going to use. There may be a lot of decisions to make, but most of them don't carry the same emotional weight as the things you might find in a bedroom, an attic, or a basement. So here's your challenge for rule number 1. Find 5 easy decisions. 5 things that you can look at right now and almost immediately think, I don't need this anymore. Get those 5 things out of your bathroom before you tackle anything harder. Because when you're staring at hundreds of tiny decisions, you don't have to make them all at once. Start with 5. Rule number 2 is the use it or lose it rule. After you've cleared out the obvious stuff, it's time to move on to the next category. Things that are perfectly good, you just aren't using them. Maybe it's the shampoo that makes your hair feel a little weird, or the moisturizer that's fine, but you always reach for a different one. The lipstick that's a beautiful color, but you don't like how it looks on you. Or the expensive serum that you bought 6 months ago that keeps getting pushed farther and farther toward the back of the bathroom cabinet. There's nothing obviously wrong with any of this stuff, and that's what makes these things so hard to declutter. Because if something is still usable, it's easy to tell yourself, I'll use it up eventually. And sometimes that's the right answer. If you like the product and you simply forgot you had it, then use it. Put it into your regular routine. Move it somewhere so you'll actually see it. But here's where the use it or lose it rule comes in. If you're going to keep something because you say you'll use it, then the challenge is to actually use it. Don't put it back under the sink and make the same decision 6 months from now. Give it a real audition. Use the lotion tonight. Wear the lipstick tomorrow. Put the shampoo in the shower. Try the serum again. And then pay attention to what happens. Because sometimes actually using the thing answers the question much faster than standing in the bathroom trying to decide whether you might use it someday. Maybe you use the lotion and you realize you can't stand the smell. Or maybe you put on the lipstick and remember that you hate the color. Maybe the shampoo leaves your hair feeling terrible. Or maybe you try the serum and discover, oh, I actually really like this. I just forgot I had it. Either outcome is useful. What you don't want is a bathroom full of products living in permanent limbo. Too good to throw away, but apparently not good enough to use. And that's where I want to make an important distinction. Use it or lose it is not the same thing as forcing yourself to use something up. We're going to talk later about the guilt that can make us feel obligated to squeeze every last drop out of something we dislike. That's a different problem. But this rule is about getting an honest answer. So if you think you'll use it, give it a real chance. But if you keep avoiding it, reaching around it, or choosing something else every single time, then believe your own behavior. You might find something in your bathroom and think, hey, I haven't used this in forever. And then you use it and you think, oh yeah, that's why I haven't used this in forever. Sometimes we forget why we've been avoiding something, and using it again gives you the information you need to make the decision. So here's your challenge for rule number 2. Choose one product that you're unsure about and use it today. Not someday, today. Put it into your actual routine and see what happens. And if you like it, great, keep using it. Maybe you forgot how much you liked it. But if you use it and then you remember exactly why it's been sitting there untouched, then you've got your answer. Either way, it's a win. Either you've rediscovered a product that you like, or you've freed up some space in your bathroom. Use it or lose it. Rule number 3 is the enough is enough rule. Bathroom clutter doesn't always come from things that we don't use. Sometimes it comes from having way too much of the things that we do use. You use toothpaste. You need toothpaste. But do you need 8 tubes of toothpaste? It's completely understandable how we end up with this stuff. Raise your hand if you participated in the coupon craze several years ago. I know I did. We were reading coupon blogs and combining coupons with sales and rebates, and stocking up was practically a competitive sport. At one point, I had enough toiletries stockpiled to make me look like a doomsday prepper. And even if you never clipped a coupon in your life, there are plenty of other ways that this happens. Your favorite shampoo goes on sale, so you buy 3. You see a buy 2, get 1 free deal, and you figure you might as well stock up. Or maybe you grew up stocking up whenever you had the opportunity because you didn't know when you'd be able to buy something again. There are plenty of understandable reasons to keep extras on hand, but the question is, how much is enough? Because saying I'll use it eventually can be completely true and still not mean that you need 12 of something. Products often take longer to use than we think. Preferences change, routines change. Sometimes we develop a sensitivity to something and have to stop using it. Some products deteriorate or expire. And meanwhile, we can end up devoting a surprising amount of bathroom space to storing products we don't need for months or even years. And there's another sneaky problem with stocking up. The more you have, the easier it is to lose track of what you already own. So if you've got 1 tube of toothpaste in use and 1 backup, you probably know that you have toothpaste. But if your toiletries are scattered underneath the sink and some in the linen closet and some in a drawer and some in a basket somewhere else, it's surprisingly easy to buy another one because you didn't remember the 3 that you already had. Now, enough is enough doesn't mean you can't be prepared. Maybe you prefer to keep a few backups of the things that your family regularly uses, and that's fine. Being prepared and having a runaway inventory aren't the same thing. So if you're going to keep a backstock, know what you have and where it is. Try to keep your extras together, and that doesn't necessarily mean keeping them in the bathroom. If you're working through 1 bottle of shampoo, maybe that's the only bottle that needs to be in the bathroom. The 3 unopened bottles could live together in a hallway closet or wherever you keep your extra household supplies. That way you know exactly where to go when you need another one, and you're less likely to accidentally buy more of something that you already have plenty of. So here's the enough is enough rule. Decide what enough looks like for you. Maybe it's 1 in use and 1 backup. Maybe there are certain essentials where keeping several makes sense for your household. And maybe there are products where you don't necessarily need much of a backup at all because you can easily replace them before they run out. Enough isn't a universal number, it's a boundary. A family of 6 has different needs from a person living alone. Someone who lives an hour from a store has different needs from someone who passes a store every day. I'm not telling you that everybody should own exactly 2 tubes of toothpaste. But here's your challenge for rule number 3. Choose 1 category where you tend to stock up and then count how many of that thing you actually have. Shampoo, deodorant, body wash, whatever it is, just pick 1 category and ask yourself, how many of these would be enough for our household? Maybe your number is 2, maybe it's 4. Maybe you have a perfectly good reason for keeping 6 or 8. It's different for everyone, so I'm not going to give you a specific number, but the point is to have a number. Rule number 4 is the Freebie Fee rule. Try saying that 3 times real fast. Some of the smallest things in your bathroom may be the things that you never really stopped to decide whether you wanted. The shampoo you brought home from a hotel, the moisturizer sample that came with an order, the promotional lip balm, the makeup that came free with a purchase. Individually, none of these things takes up much space, and because they were free, bringing them home probably didn't feel like a decision at all. That's one of the sneaky things about free stuff. It has a way of skipping past the normal decision-making process. So we bring home the hotel shampoo, we accept the moisturizer sample, or we toss the promotional lip balm into a drawer without ever stopping to ask whether we actually want it. The fact that it was free was enough to get it through the door. But once you bring it home, it isn't free anymore. Now you have to find a place to put it. You have to remember that you have it. Eventually you have to decide whether you're going to use it. And if you don't use it, someday you're going to have to decide what to do with it. That's the freebie fee. The item was free, but owning it is not. And bathrooms are notoriously good at collecting this kind of clutter because so many of those little freebies are tiny. One sample packet doesn't seem like clutter. Neither does one little travel-sized bottle of shampoo. But freebies tend to come into our homes one or two at a time, and if we're not actually using them, they can accumulate into a drawer or a basket full of tiny products that we never really wanted. And then there are all those things that we save for travel. We save the little sample sizes and say, I'll use this for my next trip, and maybe you will. If you regularly toss those little bottles into your toiletry bag for your trips, then great, keep them. But if you travel with the same shampoo and skincare and toothpaste that you already know you like, you probably don't need a collection of random hotel toiletries waiting for a hypothetical vacation. Free is a reason that something entered your life. It isn't a reason that it deserves to stay there. And this is a rule that you can use in both directions. When somebody offers you a free sample, you don't have to take it just because it's free. You can decide right then and there whether you actually want to become responsible for that thing. But you can also use the rule on freebies that you've already accumulated. So here's your challenge for rule number 4. Find one freebie in your bathroom and ask yourself, do I actually want this? Or do I only have it because it was free? Maybe you really do want it, in which case, great, keep it. But if the only reason it's been living in your bathroom for the last 2 years is that you didn't pay anything for it, remember, you've been paying the freebie fee ever since. Rule number 5 is the realistic routine rule. Sometimes the things cluttering up our bathrooms aren't bad products or even products that we dislike. They're products that belong to routines that we don't actually have anymore. So maybe you used to style your hair every morning before work, but now you prefer to just put it up in a clip and call it a day. Maybe you used to wear a full face of makeup 5 days a week, and now you rarely wear makeup at all. Maybe you went through a phase where you loved polishing your nails every weekend, but you haven't touched your nail polish in years. Or maybe the routine never existed in the first place. You bought the 12-step skincare routine one ambitious January because this was going to be the year that you really took good care of your skin. You bought the bath salts and the body scrub because you were going to start taking relaxing baths every Sunday night. You bought 7 different palettes because they all looked so good on the influencers. Sometimes we buy products for the person that we're hoping to become, but other times we really were that person. Our lives just changed. We change jobs, we get older, our schedules change, our priorities change. And the routines that made perfect sense in one season of life may not make sense in another. The problem is that our bathrooms don't necessarily change along with us. Your bathroom doesn't need to support every routine you've ever had or every routine that you thought you might someday have. That's where the realistic routine rule comes in. So instead of looking at a product and asking, could I use this? Ask yourself how it fits into the life and the routines that you actually have. Because could I use this sets the bar incredibly low. Of course you could use it. The question is whether it actually fits into your life today. And sometimes the realistic answer depends on your season of life. So if you're a sleep-deprived caregiver, maybe this isn't the season where you spend 45 minutes getting ready every morning. Maybe right now you need something simpler. That doesn't mean you'll never have another elaborate routine again. It just means your bathroom needs to support the life you're living right now, not demand that your life change in order to support what's in your bathroom. And realistic doesn't have to mean bare bones or boring. Maybe you only wear makeup once or twice a month, but you genuinely enjoy it when you do. Or maybe you take a long bath, but you only do it every few weeks. Maybe you curl your hair 3 times a year for special occasions. Those are still real routines. Occasional is real. Aspirational is different. So here's your challenge for rule number 5. Find one product that supports a routine that you no longer have. Maybe you used to use it all the time. Maybe you bought it intending to start. Either way, ask yourself, does this fit the life I live now? Does it belong in my realistic routine? If you've gotten any value out of this video so far, it would mean the world to me if you would hit that subscribe button so that I can reach more people and help more people. Thank you so much. Let's keep going. Rule number 6 is the lesson learned rule. Sometimes the hardest things to get rid of are the things that we regret buying in the first place. It might have been expensive. You bought the giant bottle because it was a better deal, or everybody online was raving about it. Or you were standing in the store absolutely convinced that this was going to be the product that finally worked for you. And then it didn't. You didn't like the scent. The formula didn't work for you. The color looked completely different once you got it home. Or you discovered that despite how lovely bath bombs look sitting next to a bathtub, you don't actually enjoy using bath bombs. But now we've spent the money, so getting rid of the product can feel like admitting that we wasted it. And I get it. I sell skincare. I know how expensive some of this stuff can be. So we keep it. We see it every time we open the cabinet. We move it out of the way to get to the products that we actually use. And every once in a while we look at it and think, I really wish I hadn't bought that. As though keeping the evidence of a purchase we regret somehow makes it a better purchase. But here's the thing. A purchase you regret doesn't have to become a product that you love in order to become useful. It can teach you something instead. You can't always know what you're going to like until you try it. So maybe you discovered that you don't like the feeling of dry shampoo in your hair, or that electrical facial cleaning brush seemed like something that you'd use, but quickly you realized that you prefer washing your face without it, or the fancy new razor that everybody was talking about just isn't comfortable for you. Be gentle with yourself here. It doesn't mean that you made a terrible decision. It means that you now know something that you didn't know before. The lesson might be, I hate lavender, or this ingredient doesn't work for my skin, or don't buy the giant bottle until you actually know that you like it, or simply, I bought this because everybody else loved it, but I didn't. Those lessons have value because they can change what you do the next time you're standing in the store or adding something to your cart. That's the lesson learned rule. Once a purchase has taught you something about what works for you and what doesn't, you don't have to keep the product around indefinitely to justify the money that you spent on it. The money is already gone. Keeping the product doesn't bring it back. I wish everything in our bathrooms came with a 365-day money-back guarantee like the stuff that I sell. Then we'd have plenty of time to try something new and figure out whether it's actually right for us without being stuck with something we wish we hadn't spent money on. But even when that's not an option, you can still carry the lesson forward. You don't have to keep the bottle to remind yourself you didn't like it. So here's your challenge for rule number 6. Find one product that you regret buying and finish this sentence. This product taught me blank. The lesson could be, this product taught me to smell the lotion before I buy it. Or this product taught me that I like a regular toothbrush instead of a fancy electric one. Or maybe I don't like shaving cream because I prefer using something else. You can keep the lesson and let the product go. Rule number 7 is the count the cost rule. There's an old saying, waste not, want not. Or maybe you grew up hearing this one. Use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. There's a lot of wisdom in that. Most of us don't want to waste money, and we don't want to put perfectly usable products in the trash. So when you're decluttering your bathroom and you pick up a half-full bottle of something that you don't really like, it's perfectly reasonable to think, but getting rid of this would be wasteful. Maybe you spent good money on it. Maybe you're thinking about the environmental cost. Those things matter. But sometimes they're the only 2 resources that we pay attention to, and there's one more resource that really counts, and that is your own peace and well-being. Maybe finishing the product means 6 more months of using a moisturizer that doesn't really work for your skin. Maybe it's a conditioner that makes your hair harder to manage, or maybe it's a fragrance that you don't enjoy, but you keep wearing it because the bottle was expensive. That is the count the cost rule. Before you decide that you have to keep everything and use it to the last drop, count the full cost, including how keeping it and using it will affect you. Count the cost doesn't mean automatically get rid of it. It means your money matters, environmental resources matter, and your own peace and well-being matter too. So here's your challenge for rule number 7. Find one product that you're keeping because getting rid of it would feel wasteful, and then ask yourself, what is the full cost of keeping this and using it? Maybe you decide to use it up. Maybe you decide to let it go. But either way, make sure you've counted the full cost. Decluttering your bathroom isn't about making perfect decisions. It's about making the best decision you can with the information you have and then moving forward. These 7 rules can make those decisions easier with less second guessing. And if this video has made you feel motivated to declutter, don't stop now. I've picked another video for you that will help you keep making progress. I'll meet you there.